The Battle of Wakefield, fought on the 30th of December 1460 during the violent and unstable period known as the Wars of the Roses, was one of the most shocking and decisive engagements between the rival houses of York and Lancaster, dramatically altering the course of the conflict. At this moment in the war, the Yorkist faction, led by Richard, Duke of York, seemed to be on the verge of securing control over England after achieving important political victories, most notably the Act of Accord, which recognized York as the rightful heir to King Henry VI, effectively disinheriting the king's young son, Edward of Westminster. This decision provoked outrage among Lancastrian supporters, especially Queen Margaret of Anjou, who refused to accept her son's exclusion and began assembling a powerful army in the north, gathering loyal nobles and experienced commanders such as Henry Beaufort, Duke of Somerset, Henry Percy, Earl of Northumberland, and the fierce Lord Clifford. Meanwhile, Richard of York, possibly underestimating the speed and strength of the Lancastrian response, marched north with a relatively small force, estimated at around 5,000 men, intending to assert control and suppress the rebellion before it could fully develop. He established his base at Sandal Castle near Wakefield, a defensible position, but soon found himself facing a much larger Lancastrian army, which may have numbered over 10,000 troops. Despite the clear numerical disadvantage, York made the fateful decision to leave the safety of the castle and engage the enemy in open battle, a move that has puzzled historians for centuries. Some believe he was misled by false intelligence, suggesting that the enemy forces were weaker or divided, while others argue that a deliberate Lancastrian feigned retreat may have lured him into a trap. Once the battle began, the Yorkist army was quickly overwhelmed by coordinated attacks from multiple directions, as the Lancastrians exploited their superior numbers and knowledge of the terrain to encircle and crush their opponents. The fighting was intense and chaotic, with little opportunity for organized resistance, and the Yorkist lines soon collapsed under pressure. Richard, Duke of York, was killed during the battle, bringing a sudden and brutal end to his claim to the throne, while his 17-year-old son Edmund, Earl of Rutland, was captured while attempting to flee and was subsequently executed, reportedly by Lord Clifford, in an act fueled by personal revenge for his own father's death at an earlier battle. Other prominent Yorkist leaders, including the Earl of Salisbury, were also killed or captured and later executed, compounding the scale of the disaster. The aftermath of Wakefield was particularly grim and symbolic, as the Lancastrians displayed the severed heads of York and his allies on the gates of the city of York, with York's head infamously adorned with a crude paper crown, mocking his failed ambition to become king. This victory temporarily restored Lancastrian dominance and morale, allowing Queen Margaret's forces to advance southward and threaten London itself, creating a renewed sense of urgency and danger for the Yorkist cause. However, despite the severity of the defeat, the Yorkist movement did not collapse. Instead, it was revitalized by Richard's eldest son, Edward, Earl of March, who quickly proved himself a capable and determined leader. Within months, Edward would achieve significant victories, including the Battle of Mortimer's Cross, and ultimately secure the throne as King Edward IV, avenging his father's death and continuing the dynastic struggle. The Battle of Wakefield therefore stands as a powerful example of how quickly fortunes could change during the Wars of the Roses, illustrating the deadly consequences of miscalculation, the importance of leadership, and the relentless nature of a conflict driven by ambition, loyalty, and revenge.